Go ahead, sir.
One of the decisions was to punt, over on the Dallas side of the field.
Yeah.
Maybe some thought about giving Harrison a shot from 60, 61 to where?
We have a yard line every game, and our yard line was the 40-yard line. So 58 was the demarcation longest that we wanted to go there, and then we wanted to play field position, obviously, and I was happy the way Ariza did a nice job. I mean, the whole game really. We were able to create field position that entire game. So I mean, I was pleased with that.
How far has he come on that? I mean, 'cause even
A lot. I mean, he's come a long way. I mean, we had a lot of touchbacks last year. This year, I think he's only had one. And it was in that last game. But still, the four that he put in there were really good.
You haven't had a chance to talk to you since Damian Pierce came in on the practice squad.
Yep.
Is he somebody who could factor into special teams?
He's been hitting some kick returns for us, and he's just getting his feet wet with everything we're doing on offense. So it'll be a minute before he gets to go. I mean, I'm sure he wants to play badly. I mean, I haven't talked to him about it, but I can only imagine that he wants to play. But it's just a matter of the offense, learning the offense, and then for me, he could probably play, and do some things, but I mean, he's just not there yet.
We've seen some rotation. Speaking of Matt's question about the kickoff return, return group, what's led behind that, and do you think you found?
I just like to get some fresh legs. I mean, I got two guys that are dynamic. I think with Bouchard and Thornton, and and then Nico is just a solid, like I've talked about before, a solid, really good blocker. He's going to get the yards that's blocked up, and I'm happy having him back there, at least as one of the guys, and then the other guys I've been rotating, as you've been noticing. And I was happy with Bouchard got in there, and he had a nice return, the bounce, 33-yarder I think it was, but he's going to get a little bit more as we go.
Is it fair to say that Smith and Thornton maybe more than Remigio provide a home run capability?
Yeah, I mean, I think Nico. Nico can hit him. I mean, in the last time we played Houston, I mean, he had that long return to start the game off. I mean, that was a great return. So, I mean, he could also bust him too. He just doesn't have that gear. I mean, that those other guys have that third gear. That he doesn't have.
Coach has talked a bunch this year about being close, a couple little things here and there, and it seems to be maybe something different in most games. You guys have had some issues, a couple things here and there. At this point of the year, are you satisfied with how you kind of clean things up?
I mean, if anything, this year we've been inconsistent. I mean, last game was a clean game. We had no penalties, and that's a positive. But we've had no penalties before, and then we came back with 3 penalties. So, I mean, we need to compile some games here with clean, and most importantly, W's. I mean, if everybody does that, we'll be where we need to be. I'll tell you one thing that I do like is the cold weather. That makes it feel like playoff weather, and it just feels like that's natural and normal for us. And at practice yesterday, it really felt good being out there with the cold weather. I think that's going to help us.
Couple more.
Speaking to that, Dave, because of the changes in the conditions, does that change that demarcation line?
Yeah, I mean, I always talk about the cold weather as like return season, and I think that helps. I mean, guys don't want to run down there and tackle in the cold weather. I mean, a lot of guys don't, but I just think it gives you an advantage, a mental advantage, if you had success in that kind of environment, and we have.
What's the outlook against the Houston unit?
Houston's very good. I mean, we played these guys a bunch. It seems like Buffalo. It seems like we play them that much, but Frankie Ross, the special teams coach, has been there for 5 years. Does a great job. Those guys they fly around. They're very highly motivated to make plays. He's an energy giver out there himself. And they got great return. They got that good the young kid Noel. I mean, he's really good. So I mean, Tommy Townsend. I mean, we know what he's about. And then Fairbairn is having a good year. So I mean, they're solid across the board.
Anything else?
I was going to say, we don't talk a lot about offensive line injuries and how they affect special teams, but how those guys play on your PAT and field goal teams.
Yeah, we had that a couple of weeks ago when we had to change up some guys and we gave up a block on the extra point. It happens, but you know, that the hardest ones are during the game. You know, when those guys go down and you got a guy that's coming in and doesn't have practice. Right now, we're kind of anticipating, and we're working guys in there as far as their footwork and stuff like that. So we're anticipating if they don't go, we have other guys in there that have gotten practice. So that helps. But it is a factor for us on field goal.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Coach.
Some coffee in here. Never even noticed that. All right, let me. I hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving, because I didn't. That one, and that's we're a whole week removed from it, so it's hard to go back. But I'm sure you guys all have questions. So I would just say this, going back to the game, I give Dallas and their offense and Dak a lot of credit. 31 points, like as a defense, we were totally disappointed in that. And you're not going to win a lot of games when you give up 31 points. And the two glaring plays was that I thought were uncharacteristic of our guys was one, the 43-yard run right up the middle. We haven't had one of those, I think, since was it Baltimore at the end of the game when they had that 70-yard run. And then we backed up. You know, when we get a team backed up, we're supposed to get them the punt and get Patrick the ball back at the 50, but we gave up that big play. And those two they just kind of stick a little bit. The other thing that I'll finish with, and then I'll open it up, is we weren't very good on third down, and I take the full blame for that. I just, we got to have a better game plan. We got to put the guys in better situations and try to make some plays, because you can't be like that on third down and expect to win or to keep the point total down low. So, hopefully you don't have too many questions about that game, because I'd like to move on, but I'll open it up.
How do you reconcile having to be physical at the line, maybe beyond 5 yards with these receivers, but then also
You're on the back end with the
penalty?
Yeah, it's when I sat with Trent and Jalen, and some of those are probably going to happen when you play like that and you play that good a team with all those weapons that they had. We just would have liked to have cut it in half. I mean, if you could have just cutting them in half, I mean, it would have made a pretty big difference. But we're not going to stop being physical. We're not going to stop being aggressive. We'll try to get better. You guys have probably been at practice before, where we put the mitts on the guys. And we'll get back to that. We'll try to get it ironed out. But those guys got a lot of pride in the way they play, and I don't want them to be any less aggressive. I just want to be a little bit better. The one thing that I never like is when we grab jerseys, because that's just a undisciplined thing. So if we can clean that up, would be better.
It's been a trend with third down and longs, especially throughout the
Yeah.
course of at least the back half of the season so far. Just is there anything you're identifying as a trend or anything
No, I mean, look, there's obviously obvious ones that we think about. It's either not a good call, or somebody, or they make a good play, or somebody's not in the right position. There's not one thing. I mean, I have to go back and look at all of them. But third down overall, in my opinion, just needs to be better.
Back-to-back games without a sack.
Yeah.
It's been 4 years since
That happened.
Yeah. That happened. Anything you put your finger on as to why you're not getting there?
No, I mean, listen, I think sacks are great, and we always want to get them. I'm more into did we affect the quarterback? Did we make him throw it out quick? But you got to do a combination of that. It's not just the up front guys. It could be the call. Not a good one. I didn't like the second or third one that we had. First one was good, right? I should talk more about that one. But sometimes we got to be one step tighter in coverage to give the guys a chance. Like I remember one particular call that we had. It's to try to get Chris a one-on-one. We got it. He won, but it was a half a tick late. And so now maybe could somebody cover just a little bit longer on the back end? But once we get the combination of rush and coverage together, maybe some of those will come.
quite a bit. Do you find that teams are getting better against the blitz, more anticipatory, or is it just a different reason that maybe they didn't get home?
The first one got home. I'm going to keep going back to that one. But no, there were others that we were off a little bit in technique. I thought they did a good job on another particular one I'm thinking of. It looked to me like Dak got him, he sniffed out something, and then he got him into a particular route, and it was tough on Trent. So I tipped my hat off to them on that particular third down. And there's going to be some of those, But somewhere in there, I don't know, it was 9 of 16 or whatever it was, we got to find a way to win 4 of those out of the 9 that we lost. And that'll change a lot of things.
Couple more.
We know injuries are going to happen, but with Brian Cook going out early in the game, just how did that affect your ability to call certain things, and just what was that learning lesson for someone like Jaden Hicks?
Yeah, it got a little hairy there. So Chris Rowland Wallace, didn't make the trip, so we're already down to safety, elevate Mike. Mike hasn't really had to practice all week, but he's a vet and he knows what he's doing. But when Brian went out, and then I don't know if you guys remember or saw that there was a 3 or 4 play swing there where Chamari Connor was hurt. And so now there's a lot of things going on, because when I try to get into the sub packages, it's either safeties or corners, and does Trent go inside, does he go outside? So there was a moment there. Now we handled it relatively okay. It could have been a little bit better on actually on the 4th and 4. That's about when that happened, the 1 4th down that they went for and we lost. It gets hairy. It's the NFL. Guys are going to get hurt. People are going to have to go in and play. There wasn't, to your point, there was an aspect of, we ran a play in the game where we brought a pressure, and the guys in the pressure weren't in the spots we had practiced because guys got hurt. And that happens. But hopefully, we're hoping our walkthroughs, and it's not like we didn't know what to do, but we were just a little bit of a tick off. So, yeah, we got to rise up above the injuries, because they're going to come.
When we talk about Houston, their offense, what you've seen.
I'm glad we're going to talk about Houston. Listen, all of a sudden, it's all clicking, in my opinion. I look at that whole team, first of all, and they're well put together. They play off of their defense. They're really good on defense. But getting the quarterback back, this may be one of the best overall receiver groups that we're going to see. They can run the football, and they got a quarterback that's dynamic with his feet and getting it out of trouble. So it doesn't get any easier. There's no soft pitches in this league. We need to play better defense. Hopefully, being at home, we can tick it up a little bit.
We'll go last 3, Sam, Matt.
Do you see some similarities with having to face Nico Collins, just size-wise, to maybe what you just faced?
Yeah, we had a couple big guys against the Colts too. Yeah, a lot of carryover. He's really good, and you can tell they try to get the ball to him. So hopefully you can find ways to take him out of the game and be good enough covering the other guys, because I don't think it's just a one-man show in that receiver group. I think they got a really the young rookie 81 is really playing well, and they got a bunch of vets in there too.
Well, and along those lines, their 2 biggest receivers, we're both 6'4" guys,
Yeah.
kind of like Dallas, some 2 big receivers.
Yeah.
What's the challenge with that, especially since, some of your guys are a little on the smaller side?
Yeah, I mean, Jalen's got some size to him, and, Trent's a good football player, and he's played big guys before. I mean, we got to, without, occurring the penalties, we got to try to win at the line of scrimmage, because when these guys get downfield, their catch radius is such that, they can catch it anywhere and everywhere. And the quarterbacks, their quarterback, both of the quarterbacks that have been on tape, have a lot of confidence in these guys just to throw the ball up. It's a pretty good challenge. It doesn't get any easier, that's for sure.
Todd.
Coach, what are you seeing, like, attitude, confidence-wise from your guys? I know most of the guys have not been in this position where it's in the mix, 6-6 in December, and a long weekend. Are you seeing kind of like what you'd expect to see from them coming back for this game?
I can tell you this, Todd. Like yesterday, we had you guys saw the practice. Coach on Wednesdays does the no helmet practice, and we've had a bunch of those in the 7 years I've been here. I told the unit this morning that I thought that was the best no helmet practice that we've had here in 7 years. I guess where I'm going with it is that nobody's lost interest in what we're doing. Nobody's lost. I think they have just jacked it up. Talk about the defensive guys in their preparation, because they know the margin for error now is really, really small. So happy with the way they were acting right now. We just got to go out and do it.
Thank you.
On Sunday, right? Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Go ahead.
While Josh was on his leave, Jalen filled in, I thought, adequately at left tackle. I guess what's the thought process with him maybe being right and Wanda at left?
Yeah, just as we go through that process with these players and where they're at for us, there's a little bit of a process between Coach Reed, Coach Heck, and where the guys are. So we all talk through that, and we end up making a decision on how that goes and with the guys. And then we leave it at that. And wherever it is, we want those guys to go out and do everything they can to trust their fundamentals and technique. Obviously, we're seeing a great pass rush. That's not telling anybody anything we don't know. So we got to find ways to be able to, in any way possible, give our guys the best advantage, in when they play.
Is that prioritizing one position where they both feel comfortable who you're playing against? Like what goes into
No, I wouldn't say it's who you're playing against as much as just the discussion of what's best for those guys, where they're comfortable, and then in the end, whatever decision is made, you got to go with it, and you can't look back on it.
It looked like John Hussey said something on the sideline at OPI. What did he tell you guys?
Yeah, that was it was on that 3rd and 6 play, and that's a we talked about it this week. It's a difficult one. What's hard is that we as coaches, you coach the players to trust the process. You coach the players to trust the play, and they executed it. I would say that Xavier did everything that he was supposed to do on that route. What they were in coverage-wise was set up for the play, and unfortunately, it didn't go our way. So it's a tough one because Monday through Friday we put in some time in trying to tell the guys why we want to run a play and how to do it, and then when you do it, there's a little bit of trust equity that you build up that maybe gets dinged a little bit as a coach when that happens. So I think that's what's real. And so there can be frustration. By no means did that affect the win or loss, of what happened in the game. But those guys did what we asked them to do on that play. It was a penalty. They called a penalty. And you have to recover from it. But there was just a little discussion as to what happened so we can have clarification. And sometimes those ones are hard to, especially coming out start the 3rd quarter when we know it's important to get points and score touchdowns, and it didn't happen. So, that was tough.
Is that one of those where you get some clarification later in the week that maybe you send in the league if you've got any feedback on that particular problem?
Yeah, that would be one of those that you get that, and again, the referees have a tough job. It's not easy, it's everything happens quickly, and there's a lot that goes on. Again, when you can go back and look at it, we talked to the guys this week, and I would tell them to do nothing. I mean, he was literally running his route, and the defender initiated the contact and ran into him. I mean, so if we called that 10 more times, I would tell Xavier, do it 10 more times, run the play the way you did, because you did it the right way. You were running your route. But unfortunately, it was called, and we have to be able to understand that had nothing to do with anything with the outcome. But we now just got to go back, and when you teach plays Monday through Friday, when you talk to the guys, you got to be able to explain to them, like, this is why we're going to do it this way. This is what should happen. And if it doesn't, okay, how do we recover and handle adversity of a 10-yard penalty to make it 3rd and 16? And the guys have been great with that. So that's what we got to do, and that's what we will do.
When he was asked about this Texas game, Pat said, he emphasized running the football, getting the ball out fast. I guess just considering some of the missing players along the protection.
Sure.
How much does this game plan, I guess, without saying too much, need to?
Sure, yeah. Again, the very first thing that you notice when you watch this Texans defense, you see them on TV or you watch them like we do in the cut-ups that we have, is they're super relentless. The edge pressure that they have, they don't have to bring much pressure. They can get a lot of pressure one-on-one. They're really, really good on the edge. They're really, really good on their whole defense. So when you have the guys on the inside, the linebackers, the DBs, everything, it presents a challenge. I think in this game for us, we create our game plan offensively. What do we want to do? Make that loud and clear to the offense in the beginning of the week. And then we got to execute it and know what kind of game this is going to be. It's probably not going to be a real pretty game, and that's okay. This team doesn't allow many points. So when you go into it, the goal is to score as many as you can, but what's real and how you're going to do it. And I think the team messaging, the offensive messaging from us is just do what you're supposed to do, coach how we're supposed to coach. And we have a lot of trust in our guys, and I think a lot of confidence, but we have a lot of respect because they're a good football team and they're very well coached.
Couple more.
Now, going back to the process part of this, you obviously work really closely with Pat
Yeah.
in the offseason to figure out what he needs to improve on. Can you just take me through what you've seen from him this year from a process standpoint, and how he's handled all those things he wanted to improve on?
Yeah, we always talk about his feet. Mentally this year, we talked a little bit about more aggressiveness for all of us. So I think he's done a great job with that. I think the next step now is with the mental side of it, the process of, okay, it's not there, check it down. He had 3 of those last week. That's growth. When you have 3 plays where it's okay, it's not there, they didn't give it to us, check it down to the back, check it down to the tight end, make it 2nd and 3 instead of 2nd and 10, that's growth. We're still working on some things, footwork-wise, which we always do, but I think like the play action stuff, he's done a great job with being really good with play action. So there's a lot. I mean, he has really done an amazing job this year of really sticking true to what we want to do progression-wise within the concepts. And then he's the most competitive human being I've ever been around. So like you get in a game like last week, we get that touchdown at the end of the game, and he was ready to roll and go down there and win the game, and that's just who he is. So I like where he's at, and again, I think mindset-wise for us as a team and an offense, I know internally is looking forward to this weekend, and he's a leader that's going to lead us, and that's one of his greatest strengths.
Regarding the run,
Yeah, go ahead.
Harold, and then-
Go ahead.
regarding the run game, a lot
Yeah.
of people have talked about the under center runs and everything. Just how would you evaluate using more of those maybe throughout the game? You see the success that you might have early in the game.
Yeah, it's been under center runs have been good for us. So making sure that we don't get away from that, match some things up with it to protect us schematically, and you're getting now to what everybody says, right? You get into cold weather games, a little bit of the elements. The run game tends to jump up a little bit. So I don't think that's a hidden fact, but whatever we do now, the downhill, there's a million different schemes you can do from dot runs or under center runs. It's doing what we do well, pairing it up, but then also, too, not taking away what we do in the RPO world as well. So just kind of balancing both of that in the run game.
Last one, sir.
There were a few times where you guys got backed up because of penalties. I mean, the Xavier play, the Josh Simmons penalty. Andy had mentioned something Monday about there's only so many plays. What's the balance of trying to go for it there versus maybe burning something that you need later in the game, knowing that you're that far backed up?
Right. There is a balance, and whatever coach ends up deciding to do, we roll with. For us, you keep hearing like we're so close, and I know that becomes insanity after a while. It's like, okay, so close can happen so many times. It's got to be fixed. It's got to be changed. And so, in whatever it is, if it's decision making with where we're at, if there's a penalty that we get, for some reason it just feels like we're getting like past the 50-yard line into that big red zone area, and then there's a penalty, whether it's a hold, a false start. Something that's unfortunate. So you, as a coach, you really try to dig in and say, why is that? What are we doing? It keeps happening. So we touch on it. We make sure the guys understand it. And then, decision making on what you do within the play scheme, go for it, not go for it, 4th down. Coming away with points is huge. So I don't know. I would just say the biggest thing is just everything we can. Like if you go back, I don't know the exact numbers, but if you don't have penalties, when we don't have penalties on offense, we're pretty good. We're pretty good. So whatever it is, like we stop with the penalties, and again, the ones that you can do, that are, I guess, controllable, stop them. If they're not controllable, keep doing what you do, and we'll deal with that.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep, thank you.
Hey guys.
When you hear your coach, and I don't know if you heard your coach on Monday say that you guys are going to go out and tickle the tonsils of your opponent, how do you feel when you hear your coach say things like that?
Fired up, ready to go. You know, that means something's getting going. He's brewing something, so I'm fired up.
Is that the tone? Do you feel like you're going to take in these last 5 games? Is you're just going to go after guys and go after these other teams and tackle those games?
I think we don't have a choice. I think this is critical moments for us as an organization, as a team. Most importantly, us as individuals. I think it's a sense of urgency and a level of awareness that we all must step our game up.
You've been around this a lot longer than most everyone else on your defense. Are you seeing what you think you need to see from the guys in the practice room and meeting rooms and stuff this week, knowing the situation you guys are in?
Absolutely. I think everyone is dialed in. I think everyone's committed to doing whatever it takes to finish the season strong. It's about being consistent, day in and day out, and the transitioning to the game, just not one game, the next game also. So for us, we can stay consistent as a team. I think we can finish strong.
Chris, what frustrates you most about the way last Thursday went?
We can look at the whole game. Especially, I don't really look around. I look at how I play and what could I have done different. And overall, I think we could have affected the quarterback more as a unit, as a D-line unit. We didn't get there. We didn't affect them as often. So, I put that on me and George. We got to step up, making sure we're attacking our quarterback and leading these guys.
Chris Spag said that yesterday was one of the best non-helmet practices he'd seen from you guys in his 7 years here. I guess, what did you see from guys out there yesterday?
Just everybody dialed in. We understand the importance of these last few games, so we're going to take it one practice at a time and make sure we exhaust ourselves each and every day, mentally and physically, and put ourselves in a position to win.
A lot of people have been waiting to take shots at you guys. You've been so good, so you can expect it. But what do you say to the people who have written you off?
Keep writing.
Couple more.
You guys, people talk about the Texas defense a lot, but just give us a preview of what you see on tape from them on offense right now.
They're a cohesive unit. CJ is definitely a tough quarterback to play. Yeah. Pocket passer, standing in the pocket, tall, will take a hit, can deliver every throw. So it's a challenge for us, but we're looking forward to it.
Coach, Chris, how much of the onus have you put on you and the rest of the defensive line to make more of an impact when you guys do get in third and long situations?
How much, excuse me?
How much of an onus do you put on yourself and the rest of the defensive line to get more pressure on third and long situations?
A lot. We got a lot of talented guys in the room that can rush the passer, and and we got to win more one-on-ones. So we got to win more as a unit, because if they're able to stay in the pocket, then it affects the back end of our defense. So we, as a unit, got to make sure we're executing on all our blitzes, all our one-on-ones, and especially the pass rush. So, yeah, I put a lot of emphasis on us improving as a D-line throughout these last 5 games of the season.
Coach, a lot of people have talked about how just a couple plays here, it's close on defense, offense, special teams, whatever. Does it feel close to you? You guys feel close to you playing how you want to play on defense?
We're not far. We're not far from where we want to be, but more so about executing. Close but no cigar. We need the cigar at this point. You know what I mean? So everyone is dialed in. We continue to look at film, analyze practice, and make sure we exhaust ourselves throughout the day so we can prepare for this game on Sunday night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.